Now, is it true that sterilization is the way out for cat overpopulation? Now, to answer this question, today we are connected to Dr. Rojivni Sadewo, a veterinarian. Good morning, doctor. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Hello, good
Hi,
morning.
nice to have you. Now, doctor, can you maybe share with us a little bit what is sterilization and how important do you think it is for our pets to do?
Okay, so the sterilization itself, it's a procedure where we remove the reproductive organ of your pets. Usually for male, we remove the testicles, and then for female, we remove the uterus and also the ovarium. By having your dog or cat being sterilized, it can improve their quality of life. It can also prevent any infections of their reproductive organ, such as endometritis, pyometra, and then it can also eliminate the chance of them having testicular tumor. It can also prevent any sexual transmitted diseases.
Okay, so Doc, correct me if I'm wrong, because apart from having your pet, either your cat or your dog, spayed or neutered or sterilized, other than having this overpopulation of cats, perhaps strays as well, there's also a lowered risk for them. I don't know what the technical term or the medical term for it, but animals sometimes they go in heat. And that
Right.
reduces that because for cats, they'll mark areas, certain areas
Right.
while they're in heat. It doesn't smell great. For dogs as well, there's actually they go through this seasonal mating season rather. So what kind of behavior improvements do we see when we get our pets sterilized?
So the one that you are mentioning before, it's actually we call it with spraying.
Yes.
Usually, it is a habit that is generally being done by male when they want to having a mate,
Okay.
and by bringing them for sterilization, it can reduce the behavior of them doing spraying inside your home. So actually, it is also can reduce those behavior or any strange behavior that is related with mating when they want to mate with the partner.
There you
Right.
go.
Oh, and very interesting. Now, I sometimes the difference between stray cats and say our actual pets at home,
Domesticated
right?
cats,
Domesticated. Surely there's a lot of health differences there now, doc. But in terms of the process of sterilization, are there any requirements that a certain pet, like a cat or a dog or whatever it may be, may have to meet before actually going through the process of sterilization?
Yes, actually, there are several requirements that you have to meet before you do the sterilization for your pets. The first one is you have to make sure that your pets are sexually mature enough,
Okay.
and then you have to make sure that your pets are also fully vaccinated.
Right.
And then, usually, when you are bringing for sterilization, the vets will do the physical examination and then also do the blood test before doing the sterilization.
Also, I heard in cats it's a little bit tricky because I know of a person who helps to sterilize strays.
Right.
But strays, it's harder. For a domestic cat, it would be in your house, so you can
Right.
control their activity.
Yeah.
But there's supposedly a time period, right? After the last time a cat gives birth before they can actually be sterilized, there's a window of several months that you have to wait. Is that true?
So usually it is depending on the condition itself. Sometimes when we have to do C-section or cesarean surgery, we can directly remove the uterus and ovarium, and it will not affecting the milking period or the lactating period because they still can produce milk
Okay.
during this time. Um, but also the most tricky part it's actually coming from dogs because when they're having loop you have to wait for probably a month until they are ready to bring for the sterilizations. So it is best to wait for dogs after the heat
Right.
because usually when they're heat the blood vessels inside of the reproduction organ it is enlarged and it is very dangerous because there might be a lot of blood loss inside of the surgery room and we don't want that to be happened.
Okay,
Right.
dangerous.
It's very interesting. And how big of a procedure is the surgery of sterilization, doc? Like, Is there any side effects or maybe some downtime after going through the procedure?
So actually, side effect. Well, it's a surgery. Everything that's related with surgery, there might be some side effect from the anesthesia itself. So it is important to do the blood test before and do the physical examination before the surgery, so that your vet will know what is happening inside of your pet's body, and then we can do, or we can give some kind of medications in case if there's something, or in case of parameters increasing, such as the kidney function or maybe the liver function, so that after the surgery we can reduce the risk of the anesthesia itself.
Okay, so Doc, one of the big issues or challenges when it comes to sterilization is cost. In an ideal world, we would sterilize all of these stray cats and dogs out there and then reduce overpopulation. But unfortunately, that's just not as easier said than done. So how much does sterilization actually cost?
So the cost of for the sterilization, it can be various from each animal clinic. So it is best to bring your animal clinics to your regular vet, so you will know actually the price maybe can match your budget. So it is best to go to your regular vet. But if you don't have any regular vet, you can find any vet near your house. It is very various for the budget itself, for the cost. Even for now, the government, they have a program for free sterilization. Maybe you can look up for that. It can help for you if you're having a little bit problem with the budgeting. So it is best to find the information by yourself, because it very depending on the animal clinic itself and the requirement that they have to meet.
Right, that white cat does not look happy to be sterilized, by the way. He looks like he's very much against the procedure.
He's ready for it to be over.
Taking all that into consideration, Doc, Karina asked earlier, is sterilization the way out when it comes to overpopulation? Especially here in Indonesia, I see a lot of people all the time, and I want to do the same sometimes when I have a cute stray cat that comes up to the home. What we wanted to do is give him some food because he looks hungry, he or she looks hungry, but then a couple months later you see them having babies in your bush, and the problem with animals is that they don't just have one baby in a 1 year span. They have multiple babies and a couple of times a year as well. So can this be possibly a good solution?
So, until now, sterilization is still the best option for controlling the population in Indonesia, because we don't have any program that can monitoring the number of cats or dogs stray population in Indonesia. So sterilization, I believe it is the best solution. Even our government, they have some programs to offering for people who have cats or dogs to do the free sterilization. So we are here in Groovy Vet Care Clinic. We are very pro with sterilization. It can also, like I mentioned before, it can improve the quality of life. It can also prevent any infection and disease.
Right. So, by the way, Groovy Pet Clinic. That's where when I used to have a dog, that's where I used to take my dog to be groomed. he was a bit bougie. Yeah, he was a bougie little pug. So anyway, Doc, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Doc.
And
You're very welcome. It is my pleasure.
Take care. We'll talk to you again.
Have a good week.